Today we are going to start a new topic, and that is Introduction to Statistics. Statistics is the branch of mathematics dealing with collection, organization, display and interpretation of data. So what is data? Data is actually the raw information. Let us take an example of a shopkeeper. If a shopkeeper wants to know that how many apples are sold by him in 4 months, from January to April, and he concluded that the number of apples sold by him are 95. So he has sold 95 apples from January till April. This number is called data. This is the raw information that he has sold 95 apples from January to April, and this stage is called collection of data. We have collected the data for 4 months. This data is then organized according to the number of months by the shopkeeper. Like in January, he concluded that he has sold 10 apples. In February, he sold 40. In March, he sold 25 apples. And in April, he has sold 20 apples. The data has been organized in a table, and this stage is known as organization of data. This data is then displayed using pictogram. We can use bar graph, we can use histogram or line graph, but in 15A we'll discuss only 2 graphs, and these are pictograms and bar graphs. Let us start with pictogram. What is a pictogram? In pictogram, a figure is used to represent the data. Like we have shown the number of apples sold by the shopkeeper in a table. In January, he sold 10 apples. In February, he sold 40. In March, he sold 25. In April, he sold 20 apples. So in pictogram, we can use a figure of an apple to represent 10 apples. As we know that he sold 10 apples in January, so we can draw 1 apple, because 1 apple is representing 10 apples. So if we are drawing 1 apple, it means that we are showing that 10 apples have been sold in January. Then in February, he sold 40 apples, so we can draw 4 apples. 1 apple is representing 10 apples, so 4 apples means that we can show that 40 apples have been sold in February. In March, he sold 25, so we are going to draw 2 apples and half for 5 apples. And in April, he has sold 20 apples. It means that we will draw only 2 apples. This is the pictogram, and this stage is called display of data. We are displaying the data using pictogram. From the graph, we can conclude that maximum apples were sold in February, whereas least apples were sold in January. This stage is called interpretation of data. As we are drawing the conclusion, interpretation of data from the graph. So we are interpreting the results, and this stage is called interpretation of data. Pictogram is used for when we have numbers, but sometimes it's pretty difficult because it does not show accurate numbers. At times it does not show accurate numbers. For example, we cannot show 1 apple over here. 1 apple is representing 10 apples, whereas half apple is representing 5 apples, but it's very difficult to show 1 apple over here or 2 apples over here. But on the other hand, it's very colorful and it's very appealing, so we use the pictogram. There are so many other methods which are also used, like bar graph or histogram or line graph, but we'll study only bar graph and pictogram in this exercise. Let's try question number 1 of exercise 15A. In question number 1 of exercise 15A, a pictogram has been shown. This pictogram illustrates the number of buses registered with the registry vehicle each year from 2008 to 2012. It means that the number of buses which are registered with the registry of vehicles from 2008 till 2012 are shown using a pictogram. As we know that in pictogram, a figure is used to represent the data. So a figure of the bus is used to represent the 40,000 buses. It means one bus, a figure of one bus over here is showing 40,000 buses in actual. So if one bus is showing 40,000 buses in actual, it means that half bus is representing 20,000 buses. Half of 40,000 is 20,000. Now part A. In which year was the greatest number of buses registered? Estimate the number of buses registered in that year. First of all, from the pictogram, we can conclude that the greatest number of buses which were registered, the year in which the greatest number of buses were registered is 2012. In 2012, the greatest number of buses were registered, and how many buses are registered? We can count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it is 6.5, 6.5. As one bus is representing 40,000 buses, so 6.5 buses are representing 6.5 multiplied by 40,000, and it is 260,000. So it means that 260,000 buses were registered in 2012. Next part. Estimate the total number of buses registered from 2008 to 2012. Estimate the total number of buses registered from 2008 to 2012. So we are going to count all buses. It is 1, 2, 3. First of all, we are going to count the full buses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then these two half buses makes 23. These two half buses make 24. So in total, there are 24 buses. And 24 buses will be multiplied by 40,000, as one bus is representing 40,000 buses. So 24 buses will be representing 960,000 buses. In part C, they are telling you that in 2010, the registration fee for each bus was 1,000. Estimate the total amount the registry of vehicles collected in that year. It means, first of all, you are going to find out number of buses which were registered in 2010. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 buses. The pictogram is showing 4.5 buses. So in actual, these are 4.5 multiplied by 40,000, and it is 180,000. So 180,000 buses were registered. These are the number of buses registered in 2010. 180,000. The fee for one bus, registration fee for one bus is 1,000. So fee for 180,000 buses would be 180,000 multiplied by 1,000, and you will get $180 million. And now the last part of this question, estimate the percentage increase in the number of buses registered from 2011 to 2012. Now students, this is a new topic for you to calculate the percentage increase. How to calculate the percentage increase? If you want to calculate the percentage increase in any number from one year to the next year, what are you going to do? First of all, you are going to find out increase or decrease. In this question, they are telling you to find out percentage increase. So increase in the number of buses from 2011 to 2012. It means the difference. In 2011, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 buses are shown, whereas in 2012, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 buses are shown. So the difference is of one bus. And as we know, so one bus. If we want to find out the percentage increase or decrease from one year to next year, let us suppose in this case we have to find out the percentage increase in the number of buses registered from 2011 to 2012. What will we do? We'll divide the change by the number of buses in 2011. as we have to find out the increase, percentage increase from 2011 to 2012. The denominator will be the number of buses in 2011 multiplied by 100%. The change is of 1 bus as per pictogram, and number of buses in 2011 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 will multiply it by 100%. And we know that when there is a decimal in the denominator, it's 1 decimal place. We'll multiply the numerator by 10 to remove the decimal point, and we'll multiply it by 100%. Then 5 2s are 10 and 0, 5 1s are 5, 5 1s are 5, that is 200 divided by 11, and the percentage increase is 18 whole 2 by 11%. This is the last part of this question. Since we are done with the question number 1 of exercise 15a, and question number 2 is very easy, you can easily do it by yourself. Now we'll study bar graph. Bar graph or bar chart is a graphical display of data using bars of different heights. In bar graph, we represent the data using bars of different heights. Just imagine that you did a survey of your friends to find out which kind of movie they like the most, and you came to know that 4 of your friends liked comedy movies, whereas 3 of them liked action movies, 1 of them liked drama, and 4 of them liked sci-fi movie. You can represent this data on a graph. On x-axis, you can draw the categories of the movies, like comedy movies, action movies, drama movies, and sci-fi. They are drawn on x-axis, and the number of friends, they are drawn on y-axis. As 4 friends are fond of comedy movies, so what are we going to do? We'll draw a bar till 4, and this bar is showing that 4 of your friends liked comedy movies. 3 of your friends liked action movies, so what are you going to do? You have drawn again a bar till 3 on the y-axis, and it is representing that 3 of your friends have liked action movies. Similarly, one number can also be drawn that 1 of your friends have liked drama movie. So one number over here on y-axis, when you are drawing the bar, it is till this point. And 4 of your friends have liked sci-fi movie. Again, you are going to draw the bar till number 4. This is called bar graph. Over here we are using different bars. We are using different bars to show the different numbers over here on the y-axis. This method is called bar graph, and we can do question number 4, 5, and 6 of exercise 15a using the bar graph. We'll do question number 6 of exercise 15a in this lecture. Now let's try question number 6 of exercise 15a. The bar graph illustrates the result of a survey conducted on shops in a housing estate. The bar graph is shown in this figure, and the number of workers employed in each shop, they are located on x-axis. On the horizontal axis, this is called horizontal axis, whereas the number of shops are located on vertical axis. Part A. Find the total number of workers employed in the housing estate. Let me explain the first bar to you. The value of the first bar on the horizontal axis is 1, as we know that the horizontal axis is representing the number of workers employed in each shop. It means that 1 means 1 worker, but in how many shops? We are going to see the value in the vertical axis. It is 4. It means that 1 worker is employed in 4 shops. Each shop is employing 1 worker. It means the total number of workers in 4 shops